reggae.com, and we are here at the beginning of a new week where we are in day 4 of our days of preparation. It's days of preparation for the proposal of the king, and we're going to be doing 50 days of preparation. We are sort of mimicking the life of Esther as she was chosen. And remember, we are a chosen people. She was chosen so that she had to go through all this time of preparation in order to be ready for the proposal of the king. So we're doing 15 days of preparation. We started on Friday and we're going right through to the end of January, and then we start on the king's proposal for all of February. February is the love month, and remember that we need to prepare for the proposal. How? It doesn't matter whether it is a heavenly proposal or an earthly proposal, you need to prepare. And what we're trying to do is show you how you can get your body, soul, and spirit ready for the proposal. And I'm here to tell you, if you're planning a proposal for yourself, or your daughter, or your son, happens sometimes, then you will need to follow us and use these same principles. So it is in the spiritual as it is in the natural. And so this is going to be preparing those who want to have a proposal, planning to have a proposal, or don't even think they want a proposal, but it's time of preparation. Friday, Saturday and Sunday we had 3 wonderful shows. We had Friday, which was the start of our new series, Preparation Day 1, and then 2 we had Shabbat Shalom, and that was a wonderful show because we looked at what was the signs of the times, what time were we in according to Hebraic calendar, where were we at the top of the stairs ready to go through this open door. And so that was just great. And then on the Lord's Day, on Sunday, we looked at how as the bride of Christ we need to prepare ourselves. And I'm here to tell you, all over the world, that was the message on Sunday, preparing ourselves as a bride of Christ. What do we need to get in place? What shape do we need to get ourselves in? Physically, psychologically, and spiritually. And we did a little session on that. We did a lot of work on the rib bone, we did a little tapping, we did a lot of other things, and you can go back and watch those shows. And then today, it's the beginning of the week, and you see I'm dressed up in my workout clothes. I'm on my sweatsuit, right? It's not a hot sweatsuit, it's a cool sweatsuit. But you know, this week, like the hoodie. Yes, familiar. All of these items that I'm wearing this week are my own designs. And remember, we decided last week that we would talk about some jam icons, and we also featured some crochet outfits by 3 Jamaican designers, and they're still around with us today. One outfit was almost 50 years old. I had another one that was about 20 years old, and another one that is not even a year old. That was done by 3 great crochet experts here in Jamaica. And the concept of that was this, that as Jamaicans, we are all jam icons. And while I'm showing you these things for you to admire them and to pick up the persons who made them, that's not the objective. The objective is for you to go and pull out your own individual specialties, because we are all great at something. It may be 1, it may be 5, it may be 10 things. It doesn't matter. They are implanted in us when we were created, those special gifts and abilities. And this is what the days of preparation are about. Pulling out those things, because we all are wonderfully made. And if we are wonderfully made, it means that the things that are good about us are inside, and we need to pull them out. And so this week Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I will be showing you some of the things that I have been blessed with. And it is, one of them is designing and fashion. And so this is one of my swimsuits. I just knocked up all the cotton. I didn't want anything as hot as the sweaty usual things. And then have a little hoodie, loose sleeves and loose pants, and I can wear it as my pajamas. I can wear it if I want to just run down the road. I can wear it if I'm jogging. I can wear it if I'm exercising. I can dress it up and wear it out with some sparkly shoes. Yes. So it's one of those characteristics of the Jamaican culture and personality. We are so versatile and we are so creative. So I want you to look inside of you. Find that thing that you're good at and be encouraged to pull it out and let it grow and bloom. But you have to put in the work. You have to water it. You have to mulch it. And this is what days of preparation are about. So we are now in day 4. And today we're going to be concentrating on the fact that we are at a place of deliverance, revival, a spiritual awakening, and if we do not take advantage of those places, then we're going to have a disadvantage. And you know, this show is about taking advantage, right? Not of others, but of ourselves and of the things that we have already been blessed with. Remember, we are at the top of the stairs and we are moving towards stepping through the door. The door is open, we're at the top of the stairs, and all the challenges of 2013 were the different steps that we took to get up to the top of the stairs. They were all stepping stones, and now that we're at the top of the stairs, do not go back down. You will need to decide, I am going to step through this door. I don't care what. I am not going to freeze with fear. I'm not going back down the stairs, and I don't care if there's nothing in front. I am going to step. Why? Because the God who took us up to the top of the stairs, the God who has brought us through all the challenges of 2013 is here to buoy us up on wings as we sail through this year. Because by the end of this year is when we come to the end of this particular age. I'm not talking about you know, and catastrophe coming, but in the times of the Hebraic calendar, this is when we move into a new dimension, right? And so we are all poised to go. And when you understand that and embrace it, then you're going to take off, right? So what do we need to do? And how I have sort of titled today is that we need to run hard after our Creator. Run hard after Him. Because He has such a fabulous plan there that you can't make Him run away and leave you, right? Because He has a plan. He plans to carry through, and it is only as we follow Him and run hard after Him. We finish with the trotting, the walking, the skipping, the jumping, and what have you. We are into a full speed run now, because we're coming on to the end of this little dispensation, this season. So we need to run hard after Him. And how are we going to make sure we're not running in the wrong direction or anything? We need to review the 4 rules of Celebrate Life. 1, know where you're going. 2, know who your driver is. 3, pay as you enter. 4, enjoy the journey. Wonderful. So 1, know where you're going. We need to get on the path God has for us. We were created with a purpose. Every single one listening is the answer to a challenge or a problem. That is what we were created to provide. And if we decide that we are going to just sit down and say, I can't do this, then we will never get anywhere. We need to understand that not only have we been created as an answer, but we have been given the capabilities to deal with that. And anytime we get frustrated and we decide we can't bother with this, it is because we are not accessing the things that are available to us. And what are the ways of accessing those things? Well, we need to ask. Ask, seek, and knock. That's how you spell ask. And putting it as an acronym. A, ask. S, seek. K, knock. And once you ask, seek, and knock, and do not turn back, then you are going to get what has been planned for you. And what has been planned for you? There's a certain shalom, a certain peace. And I want to understand that this peace is not the absence of turmoil. This peace is the presence of joy and excitement and fullness and an abundance. It's all there. And we have not because we ask not. No, I've had a lot of people say, but Cheryl, you try and make it too easy. It sounds too easy, just as if you just sort of snap your finger and it happens. It does. But you need to understand that as we will be sharing in the third segment, pay as you enter, you have your place. You have your responsibilities. And once you do your responsibilities, then it must happen at the snap of a finger. Why? Because it has already happened in God's timing. Remember how He plans. He starts from the end and then He works back to the beginning. So it's an expected end that He starts from, a completed picture, and then He works back and says, in order for this to be done, I will put Cheryl in this place at this time. And then in order for her to get the supplies that she needs to do this, I'm going to put that other person. I'm going to network this person. I'm going to place that person in the whole thing. And that networking is not my doing and is not my responsibility. And so it is of no concern to me. Consequently, I can just sit back, do my part, because I only am responsible for my part. The other parts, my Creator has already put in place. And once we understand that, I need to go on a break. I'm getting running out. So come back and finish this sentence and go away.
Since the first public demonstration of radio by Nikola Tesla in 1893, no one ever thought of putting the 2 hours of music together until we created Reggae2Reggae.com.
Reggae to reggae, bun down bro mana. Make it burn, them come mana. Make it burn, bumpy go oh mana. Make it burn, make it bun. Africa we come from mana. Reggae to reggae, big up on yourself, saying I love, as I would say. Oh my eyes.
Master, they will come to pass.
in segment 2 of Celebrate Life in Days of Preparation, the 4th day. And we are looking at the days of preparation going up to the king's proposal. And we looked at know where you're going, know who is driving, pay as you enter, and enjoy the journey. And I was just telling you about seeking out the pathway that has already been put in place for you. And a lot of times the pathway is covered with all sorts of things, bush, ice, all sorts of things. And we have got to make sure that we find that pathway and get rid of all the junk that is preventing you from walking on it. And once you have done that, then you can know that you are going to get to your expected end. And so, know where you're going. The pathway has already been put down, laid down for you. You have got to follow it based on the words and instructions and directions from His Word. And then you need to make sure that whatever is in the way, you eliminate it. It doesn't matter who it is or what it is. Remember, there is a time and a season for everything. And we are in that season, at that time, when we have broken through, and we are just about to get to the reaping of the end of this season, right? Because as farmer, I know about short-term crops, long-term crops. I know about sowing and reaping. I know that sometimes I have 6-week crops, but I have some things in the ground 3 years before they're really bare. So we need to understand, is this a short-term crop? Is this a short-term goal? And know the times. Put in whatever you need to put in as you come along. And when the thing starts to blossom, they're just going to bear. And that's what is happening now. Everything is blossoming. For instance, in Israel, this is one of the seasons that they are in, where the trees are blossoming, especially the almond tree. And once you see those blossoms coming out now, and we have almonds here in Jamaica, we know that the next thing is fruit. So get ready to pick the fruit, but you cannot pick the fruit if you didn't plant. And if you planted and you didn't water. So that brings us to our next segment, which says, pay as you enter. But I just want to talk a little more about knowing the driver, know who is driving the vehicle. Once you have a lot of negative emotions, let's just put it that way. You know, if you have fear, if you have shame, guilt, anxiety, depression, frustration, you need to always check back and recognize, first of all, that they are not from the Creator. They are from the other person, the enemy of our souls. And so remember what the soul is. The soul is your emotions and your relationships. It's the operational area of the being, me. I remember I have a spirit, which is that spirit that God put in me, and I became a living soul. I live in a body. But everything operates in the soulish realm. The emotions that I have with myself and the relationships that I have with everybody around me and everything around me. And consequently, within that framework is where everything happens. And so this is why the Spirit empowers me to become a living soul. And this is also why the Spirit of God needs to be the one directing my activities. Anytime I move into any of the negative emotions, they are almost like a signpost to say, stop, review the instructions, see what you are not doing right or where you are not going right. Because guess what? His way is perfect, and anything that He gives me to do, He has already worked out all the resources, and He has networked everything together. And so I always have to go back. When I hit a little bump, you must go back. When you hit a bump and you hear clink, clink, clink under the car, what do? You'll carry it to the mechanic, right? So anytime I hit a bump and I start to get frustrated, fearful, can't bother, I just go back to my instruction manual. Carry this to the mechanic. And when I go to the mechanic, I say, I don't know what happened, I hit a bump. And I hear clinkety clink on the bottom, something shaking, something rattling, something out of place. Just show me what the problem is and let me get it back in place. And exactly that's how it goes. Because we are finite. And so we often do things that cause us to be frustrated. And know that everything that you are frustrated about is you cause it, is me cause it. I cannot be frustrated about something that I did not cause. If it was something that somebody else did, then I would have given them my power in order to react to what they are doing. I have a responsibility, and my responsibility is to respond the way the Holy Spirit wants me to respond to everybody and everything that confronts me. Consequently, I need to understand that whenever these negative emotions engage me and I am tempted to be swallowed up or affected by them, then I need to go back to the operations manual. I need to take the vehicle to the mechanic and say, oops, I hit a bump. What am I to do? What needs tightening up? What needs fixing here? You know, a screw dropped out, whatever, you know, and it's like that. Now that is a journey that we need to take continuously. I'm just checking on my time. Alright, so I have 5 more minutes in this section, and I want you to understand that the journey of successful living is one that goes up continuously, but it goes up in an undulating fashion. It's like this. Every time you have a little hiccup, hitch, bump, it becomes a step. You know, if you're going up, you need a step, a flat place to step on if you're climbing up a mountain, and then it starts to go up again, and then there's a step. So all of these bumps, hitches, and negative things that come, they are all steps. You cannot go in a position like this. Where do you place your feet if you're going up a steep mountain? And especially if you're moving fast at a good altitude. Yes, ma'am, and you're gaining altitude fast. You have to have these little crags in the mountain so that you can place your foot there. Up more, place your foot there. And a little bit of mountain climbing. So understand what I'm talking about. You've got to have those crags and cracks. So don't see them as a negative thing. Recognize them as a positive opportunity to place your foot on something, to learn from something, to embrace something. And remember, you know, everything you learn is for one purpose. So you can help somebody else learn it too. So that's the whole issue of becoming a disciple. Once you follow Christ, then you look at the example of how he placed his foot. Every time, you know, there's a storm, or there's a problem, or there's no food, or there's no wine, or there's no, every time anytime there's lack, it's an opportunity for learning where your source is, where your real source is. For moving up and stepping on all of these negatives that confront us on a daily basis. I had a friend who called me, who I was speaking with, and he was having a little challenge with one of his relatives. And as he mentioned it to me, he was saying, boy, I'm so glad I got deliverance. I was at a deliverance session yesterday and so on, so on, so on, so on, so on. And I said, hey, you're glad to get deliverance, so you don't have those challenges again. And the Lord said to me, tell him that it is not about the challenges that he doesn't have any longer. It is about the preparation to deal with the challenges that he has with his relative. Consequently, you have a situation where everything you have been delivered out of, saved out of, been able to circumvent, etc., is for one purpose. That you will be able to use those principles to help you deal with those difficult situations that currently face you and that will continue to face you as we move ahead. So, I would like to encourage you as we go for another break to remember, know where you're going. Your path has already been put out. 2, know your driver. Your driver has presented and networked and put in place everything that you need. And then it comes to the next segment, which is pay as you enter. So come back.
On reggae2reggae.com, we encourage our listeners with an inclusive, intelligent, and innovative alternative media experience.
Join me for Celebrate Life, where we will be looking at all the issues that you could possibly have and how you can transform them into a celebratory occasion. Celebrate Life on reggae2reggae.com. See you there.
Oh my. They will come to pass. With all this injustice, this world could never last. Oh, somehow I know things have got to change.
Hi, we're back. Welcome back. Now in my hand, today is my last day of my master cleanser, right? And remember what this is? Cleanses the whole body at the cellular level, and it is cane juice, 16 ounces of cane juice with 2 tablespoons of lime juice or lemon juice, and half a teaspoon, little teaspoon of cayenne pepper, or better still, Scotch bonnet. Wonderful. It fills you up. It is delicious tasting, and it is wonderful for cleansing at the cellular level. How many of these do you do? 6 to 8 a day. You don't need anything else to eat. I'm telling you. You want to drop weight? You drop weight. No, it's not that you drop weight. It's that you drop waste. So if it is that you are in a situation where you need to regulate your weight, that's what I want to say. Not because if you are slim, the only thing you would lose is waste. W-A-S-T-E. So this is a master cleanser. Mm. Call me if you need more information. So, here we're talking about running hard after him. Because we have to be running hard along that path that he has already laid down, that, you know, we have to make sure we just move the obstacles out of. Dig it back out, get rid of the bush, the ice, or whatever has caked upon it. 2, we need to know who is our driver. No, we are sure that he has put in place everything we need in order to make sure that we have all the other inputs into our equation, because anything that we are going to do, we're not going to do it by ourselves. And anything that he has planned for you, he has already put in place all the other inputs. You are just one input. So you don't need to plan to do everything else. And when you become frustrated because it's not going the way you expected it to go, like today, I waited almost 2 hours to start my filming. But it's alright, right? I just decided to be cool and not quarrel with anybody this time around. You hit a bump, go to the instructions manual and it will tell you exactly how to get back on track, how to use that bump as a step. Remember, we are moving ahead fast and we have to have steps to put our foot there to move ahead again, to step up. And so we must, that is why we must see every bump, hitch, hiccup, anything that comes to affect our smooth flow as an advantage and an opportunity to provide a step, a learning experience, a growth spurt in order to move again ahead. So we are now into our path. Here's the enter. And remember, you know, that you only have one little part to contribute to any process that you're involved in. You cannot do all of them. Your creator has put in place and networked all the resources that you need. Now, a lot of times, people are operating without those resources because they think, 1, they have to provide everything, and 2, that nobody else is a part of this process. Well, first of all, if you know who is driving the bus, right, as we did in the second segment, then you also know that the person driving the bus has a big picture, and they have all the different things put in place, and we just need to do our part and do our part and then sit back. This is why so many people have what you call burnout, because they get executive burnout and all these other things, nervous breakdown, stress attack. It's all because we are attempting to do more than we are mandated to do by the program set down and the path set down by our Creator. Nobody has stress unless they are attempting to do more than our Creator intended for us. You're either worrying, which is more, you're either working, you're either losing your sleep. God made us to be creatures of balance. And now, when I say balance, I'm not talking about mediocrity. It's two different things. He intends for anything that we do to do with all our heart, our soul, our might, our strength, and just, you understand? Passion, excitement. You know, that's how we need to live every day. But that does not mean we are to do more. It means that we are to do whatever has been set before us to the best of our ability. And the most important thing to understand, you see the enemy of your soul, his number one weapon, that is W-E-A-P-O-N, is distraction. It's not about telling you all sort of horrible things to do. It is about distraction from the thing that is the priority at this time and in this season. Well, I don't know about you, but I am here to tell you, every time I go off track, that's the reason. Distraction. All of a sudden somebody come up and I say, well, why don't you do this instead? This would be great, you know. And I think that this is... Excuse me, please. One driver I have. Nobody else drive my bus. And if you allow anybody else to take over the seat, the driver's seat, to give you advice, maybe you should do it this way. Nothing is wrong with a multiple of counselors, right? But anytime the counselors give you any advice, the first place to go is straight back to the operations manual. You can have a big jet plane. Let's say you own a Learjet, all right? And the pilot tell you that it's not working too well. And some miscellaneous person off the street come and tell you that, look, all you need to do is pull out the screw and put another one in there. You want to do that? Are you going to do that? No. You're going to take it to a qualified technician or mechanic or engineer, aircraft engineer. And a specialist in that? Well, guess what? There's one specialist in fixing this year, one specialist, and all the instructions are in the script. And when I can't remember it or I can't find it, I just pray and I say, Holy Spirit, tell me what to do. Because I know that you know that I know. And you are the only answer. So I am not going anywhere else. I am going to no pastor. I am not going to no teacher. I am not going to no accountant. I am not going to any lawyer. I am not going to any doctor. I am not going to any Indian chief. I am not going anywhere until after I have checked with the operations manual. Carrying it in. So, is what? I will break in a little while and speak for 3 minutes. Thank you. And so we need to understand that we must only have one source. One source. And that source is the operations manual. Because guess what? He's the one who planned the path. And so he's the one who has the reasons of how we are to proceed. So, remember, pay as you enter. Does not have to do so much as to what we are going to pay, but it has to do with how we spend our time as we move towards the end of this process. Okay? So, one, any distractions from the main process and program need to be checked with the operator, the driver, and any advice that we are to get from anywhere in any area of life must be carried out or sought after we have sought the directions of your driver. So as you pay, as you enter, just remember one thing, that as you seek to embrace your purpose, you need to always seek his advice. go along the path only where He has directed you. Because if you attempt to do more than you have been directed to do, you're going to end up in frustration. The other negative emotions that we sometimes face are so very important for us to understand that they are there as a stepping stone, as a stopping first, like a speed bump. Stop, go over easily, step on top of it, and then you move on. That is how you get over. And so those stops are for us to go back and check if we have been out of line, something is not right, etc. They're just nice rest points. And nice points where you just go back to the source. So that's pay as you enter. And then now we're going to look at our last segment, which is enjoy the journey when we come back for our last segment. So days of preparation for it is Sukkot.
This is the Uprising Roast Band, and I represent the reggae2reggae.com. Boom, shakalaka, boom, boom, boom. Sing, check out, I'm out. Trench down, you keep on rocking. Bang, bading, bidong, bang, bang, bidong. Trench down, you keep on rocking. Yeah, the Uprising.
So keep it tuned to reggae2reggae.com, and we'll have more for you. Keep it locked.
Oh my eyes. These words have been spoken by my master. They will come to pass. With all this injustice, this world could never last. Oh, somehow I know things have got to change.
Welcome back. And we are in days of preparation for, and we are in the fourth segment, which is enjoy the journey. And remember, we have looked at knowing where we're going, we know where we're going, the path has been laid out for us. 2, we know who our driver is. It's our Creator who has created us for purpose and has all the different resources in place, and we only need to do our part. And then we look at pay as you enter. Pay as you enter means that you must use your time to do what you have been mandated to do. Do not try to do what other persons are supposed to do, because it will lead to frustration. Use that time to use your negative emotions as stepping stones, negative happenings, crises, whatever, as opportunities, and make sure that you only do what you're supposed to do. Beware of a distraction. That was the other thing, because that is the number one ploy of the enemy, to distract you to the point where you just think that, I will never ever get where I need to go. So time is the most important thing. You know, how we spend our time determines how we move ahead, because it's the only limiting factor that we have. So using your time in a way that engages your energies in a focused way is how we're going to enjoy this, right? So this is how we're going to enjoy this, and this is also how we are going to prevent ourselves from the distractions, from the frustrations, etc. And remember, don't do more than you need to. It's as simple as that. But whatever you do it to the best of your ability, all your might. And remember, you are to put that same attitude also to your creation. rest and your food and your exercise and everything. Too many people think they're doing a better job by forgetting those areas of their lives and just concentrating on the work and the matter at hand. And I'm here to tell you, they end up to be totally frustrated, and worse still, the work that they are doing is not going to be as beneficial as if they only did what they were responsible for doing. We are not the creator. We are not the one who is determining how everything comes together. In fact, we are not the one who's bringing it to pass. Please, we are the one who is going to follow the instructions that we have been given. No, I just took an emergency call and I need to turn this off so that it does not disturb me, as it will in a little while. So, how do you enjoy this ride? You embrace this. You remember we're talking about running hard after him, and we are going to embrace all the open doors that are before us. We're going to embrace all the opportunities that face us. We're going to step through those doors with abandonment. It's not carelessness. It is abandonment in the sure, absolute certainty that your Creator is going to back you up. And you can only do that when you're just doing your part. When you go on to other people's responsibilities and take up what they have dropped, you're going to get into trouble. Now, when you go over there, not only are you losing the time you should be using to do your part, but you are also in an unprotected zone. That's right. And that is where so many people get stressed, get sick, get out of pocket, out of their depths, etc., etc., etc. So just try and play cool, man. Enjoy what you are doing. Enjoy what you have been given to do. And leave the other person's responsibility for the other person. Because if they break down, you will be instructed if you need to go over there and help. Just because somebody needs help, that is not a reason to help. And so many persons feel that it is our responsibility to assist wherever there is a need. And need means that there is a need, and that's it. After that, we have to decide, is this a need that I need to be involved in? And, you know, we need to also look at our own wants. Whenever we think about this need, we have to look at our own wants. Because a lot of times we want to be involved where we are not called to be involved. And when we do that, we are messing up the apple cart. We are affecting our ability to do our part, and we are also affecting the other person. We are preventing them from rising to the occasion, from learning how to handle their difficulties. And very often I find many caregivers do this because they are caring for somebody who is challenged in one way or the other, whether they are not well, or they are a child, or they are an older person, or they are someone who has specific challenges for which they need a caregiver. Listen to the process. If you are trying to help somebody who has a challenge, then your responsibility is to help them to cope with the challenge and, if possible, learn how to manage and eventually get over that challenge. That is your objective. Consequently, you cannot take away their power, even if they are willing to give it to you. because that is what frustrates them, so they feel like a failure. And that is what will frustrate you, because you will not be able to manage your responsibilities and theirs without stressing yourself. Consequently, one of the things that I do is caring for caregivers. And in this process, I have lots of clients who are caring for ailing parents, young children, children of all ages, persons who have mental, psychological, physical, and spiritual challenges. And very often, out of that experience of caring for somebody else, the caregiver is depleted in their capabilities. And every situation in which you give of yourself should be a situation where you learn to grow and empower and re-energize yourself out of that activity. I'm going to just break this down again, because a lot of people don't understand this at all. When I'm giving advice to persons who have needs, challenges, problems, I always am energized by the process of assisting them. Why? Because I am giving out of one, my abundance, the abundance that is put into me by my Creator, by His Spirit. I'm always giving out of an abundance that is downloaded in me. And as I give out, I also get. So this brings me to the issue of who the source is. We covered that in the last segment, 2 segments ago. And we looked at the fact that if it is your Creator who is the driver of your activities and your processes, then He's also the supplier. He is your resource. So we have to constantly draw on that source, and as we draw on that source, then we will have more than enough for ourselves and the caregiver. But if we're giving out of our own resources, we will always be depleted. So whenever I come into a caregiving situation, I always just blanket my own resources. I don't give out of my own resources at all. I just go straight to the source and I say, God, this is what I need. Show me, tell me, and supply. And I am here to tell you that the supply comes rushing in, so much that I cannot contain it, and so I have to keep pumping it out. And as I pump it out, it energizes me, and I get my own supply. So bear this in mind. This is how you can enjoy the ride, so that every experience that you have does not deplete you, but in fact is a source of energy. How? By not using your own resources, but using all of that abundance that is continuously supplied to us by just asking. So remember, we're going into days of preparation 5 tomorrow, and you've got to join us, because we are in this exciting time of preparation as we prepare for the proposal of the King. See you tomorrow. And don't forget that whatever you do to care for others must energize you. See you tomorrow and have a wonderful day. Until we meet again on Saturday Live on reggae2reggae.com.
Since the first public demonstration of radio by Nikola Tesla in 1893, no one ever thought of putting the 2 hours of music together until we created reggae2reggae.com.
The Jamaican music that is emerging in the whole reggae phenomenon is one of the most tremendous political forces in this country, because it's a tremendous force for change. It is the first real people's language that has emerged, in which people are singing out their woes, their tragedy, their despair, and are forcing this society to understand.
Reggae2reggae.com. We encourage our listeners with an inclusive, intelligent, and innovative alternative media experience.
This is the Uprising Roast Band, and I represent for reggae2reggae.com. Boom shakalaka boom boom boom. Sing, check out, I'm out. Trench down, you keep on rocking. Bang bading bidong bang bang bedeng. Trench down, you keep on rocking. Yeah, the Uprising Roast.